and give this a shot here.
All right.
And we're going to let that play out a little bit.
Año del 67, 5 de junio fue el día, hubo una revolución, allá por Tierra María, allá en la casa de Cortés, pueblo de Tierra María, Nuevo México el estado, condado de Río Arriba.
All right. Hey, what is happening? Albuquerque, New Mexico Spanish music fans. Luis Hernandez here representing Elite Music Productions. We are live, coming at you live from the Kangen Water Store here in beautiful Albuquerque. Team Alkaline live stream. Change your water, change your life. I'll tell you what, I started drinking this water not too long ago, and it has done amazing things for my health, for my body, for my mind, and even my spirit. We're going to talk all about that today. But hey, thank you guys for joining us. This is the very first ever live broadcast for the New Mexico Spanish music fans group. I'm excited that you guys are here with us. Excited that you guys are joining us. And today we've got a handful of special guests. Well, and I'm just going to introduce you to one right now, the man, the myth, the legend. They call him Mr. Rob Martinez, and he's got a handful of titles. His day gig puts him up at the state there, where he is the deputy state historian, right? And he gets to tell us the wonderful story in Nuevo Mexico, right?
Right.
And then outside of that, the accolades that you have. We're going to jump all into that here in just a minute. You guys are going to hear some unique stories about music here in New Mexico, specifically tied to New Mexico Spanish music and its origins here. We're also going to talk about Los Reyes de Albuquerque and their place in the music scene here, and how they were very instrumental in really kicking off the music scene here in our, is it Querida or Querido Nuevo Mexico?
Querido.
Querido. Well, good morning. Good morning. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. Bienvenidos. Thank you for having me, Luis. It's great to be here. Water is important, especially in New Mexico. It shapes our history, and it's still shaping our history, right?
Can we start our conversation with that?
Well, okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about history. We have a brilliant history here. New Mexico is first shaped and owned and belongs to the Pueblo people.
Absolutely.
They've been here for just about 12,000 to 15,000 years. That's all.
Not that long.
Yeah, but they were here first, and
Yeah.
then the Spanish come in the late 1500s, bringing their idioma, their cultura, which includes música, music.
There you go.
And, it's a clashing and blending of cultures. And there's a Pueblo revolt in 1680, a revolution to save their culture, the Pueblo people. They shake off Spanish economic, political, and cultural institutions. But the Spanish come back, a little humbled, but stronger than ever in 1692. And then we start blending. A lot of blending starts to take place.
A lot of blending, yes.
And then you add Comanches in the 1700s and Genizaros. And then we become Mexican in the 1800s, 1821. And so we have a strong connection to Mexico going back centuries.
Centuries, yes, absolutely.
So we're mixing with Mexican people, add to all that a little bit of French and Jewish and Moorish from Spain. And then we become Americanos in 1848. And here we are.
Here we are.
Still speaking our language and singing our music, but, influenced by American culture, rock and roll and jazz and
Right.
all that. We have Carlos Santana and Al Hurricane with his electric guitar. So it's an amazing mix and an amazing history.
And you know, one that really hasn't been showcased as often as I think it should be.
No, we're very regional, and I think in the '70s, I remember it was either a Newsweek or Time. One of those national magazines had an article about the new sound, the new Chicano sound coming out of New Mexico.
Really?
Oh yeah, my sister Debbie La Chicanita Martinez was
Yes.
featured in the article, but so were a lot of New Mexicans because it was a whole movement. But you know what? It's still with us. It's still with us. We still have young, vibrant people making music, as you well know.
Absolutely.
So we're still kicking, and I think there's still a future for it.
I believe wholeheartedly that there most certainly is, and I believe that what we have here in New Mexico is so special that it needs to be shared around the world. And I believe God placed me on this earth to do just that.
Well, you're on a mission, brother. Okay, because we have the tools now that we didn't have in the mid '70s. You know,
Absolutely.
my father, the late Roberto Martinez, used to sell albums out of the trunk of his car, going to Santa Fe and Española and Tierra Maria and Mora and those places. But now look what we're doing right now. With the internet.
There's
it's
still
amazing.
some guys that are out there selling those albums out of the trunk of their car.
I've done it myself, so I hear you. It's
But
not
no,
a bad thing.
You're absolutely right. Technology has made the impossible possible.
Oh, yeah.
Not too long ago, it would take an arm and a leg for you to get into a studio, record material, and then get that material produced in a way that you could share it with folks, usually
Yeah.
by album or CD or
Yeah.
cassette or 8-track or something like that.
I've been through all that. I was a little kid, but I saw it all. Yes.
But yeah, we still had to have a place where people could purchase these things. And that was often by roadside or
Christie Records.
Christie Records.
We used to go to get records by Heraclio Perez, and we'd go record at Herman Martinez's studio up on the west side.
Yes.
And now his son, Herman Jr., has his own studio.
Yes, and let's how do we do that? West side.
West
There we go.
side, orale, bro.
So let's talk a little bit about. I know you've got your guitar with you, and I'm anxious to hear some music. But let's go way back. Let's go to the roots, the origins of New Mexico Spanish music. And I'm not even going to ask. I'll let you just take us on a journey.
Well, I already touched on it. Our musical influence are a mix of different cultures. It's Spanish, but it's also Puebloan. It's Genízaro, it's Mexican, it's American, it's everything that comes together. Musicians don't care about borders or walls or any of that. They just say, I like that, and I'm going to play it, and they add it. That's why our music is hard to say it's one thing.
Sure.
It's not, but if you go back to the, say, the 1700s, music was very religious, very penitential. The penitentes come about in the early 1800s, and they have their alabados, which were obviously around in Durango, Mexico, and then up in places like ABQ and Chimayo. So you had alabados. These were songs, hymns about the Passion of Christ.
Right.
The penitentes would have their Holy Week, Semana Santa processions, and they might sing an alabado, and they were very mournful about the inevitability of death for all of us. And they were, about Jesucristo, Nazareno, So they might sing a lament that goes like, Adiós acompañamiento, donde me estaban velando, ya se llegó la hora y tiempo de que me están sacando. So you hear that lament. It's kind of like our blues. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And they're beautiful songs. And then you had alabanzas. These were also religious songs, but usually sung in unison, men, women, children, while they were harvesting, singing songs to the saints, asking for help and blessings to San Isidro Labrador, who is one of the great patrons of New Mexico. So you have these songs coming up into the 1700s and into the 1800s, okay? and they're part of our tradition. But in the 1800s, we get inditas.
Inditas.
Little Indian girls is the meaning of the word literally. We don't know why they're called that, but they're clearly a blend of our Spanish and Native American heritage.
Okay.
And they're about local events and local people. They come out of the romancero tradition of Spain brought by colonists in the 15 and 1600s. And that grows in New Mexico. In Mexico, they become corridos. The ballads.
Yes.
But in Indita in New Mexico, I'll play you a little bit of one. It's
Okay.
La Indita de Manuel Maes. He's a real person from the 1800s who died out in the Llano, the plains, hunting buffalo. His horse took a bad turn and he got killed instead of the buffalo.
Ah.
And it goes like this. Caballo a la santo estado, que tú la muerte me distes. Caballo a la santo estado, que tú la muerte me distes. Me vi de tan fatigado, desamparado y tan triste. Tu cuerpo quedó bañado, con mi sangre te teniste. Adiós mi novia querida, ay qué bonita te ves. Adiós mi novia querida, ay qué bonita te ves. Adiós madre Donaciana y padre Juan de Dios Mes. Adiós mis padres queridos, del finado Manuel Mes. I just gave you a taste of it, but these songs have like 34 verses. People had a different sense of time back
Right.
then. And they're beautiful songs, as you can tell, the melodies and the stories. And they're real people going through real hard times in the frontier of New Mexico in Spanish and Mexican times.
Beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
That is so cool. So, this is a really unique opportunity for those of you guys that are tuning in. One that I've been anxious to participate in for quite some time is just really having a good understanding of what the history is here in New Mexico and as it pertains to music. And so I'm very appreciative of this journey that you're taking us through.
Sure.
What happens next?
Well, this is what's happening in the 1700s and 1800s. We're part of Spain, then we're part of Mexico, and we're a rural community. We're on the edge of empire, on the edge of the Spanish Empire, and on the edge of Mexico's empire. So we're interacting with Pueblo people, Apache, Comanche, Pawnee, Ute, Kiowa, and we're creating music, and we're creating lives and culture. But what happens in 1846 is the United States invades. Stephen Kearny brings his Army of the West to Las Vegas, New Mexico, and everything changes for us. It's never easy to be on the receiving end of conquest and empire building. The Pueblos experienced that when the Spaniards came. The Spaniards brought some innovations that were good, but it's also painful to have to deal with that. We have to acknowledge that.
Sure.
Indios were enslaved, and then when the Americans came, they brought a lot of good stuff for us.
Right.
Capitalism and democracy, but also they had manifest destiny, a superiority complex that they brought, and that, in a sense, created a somewhat inferiority complex for us for a while, but we were still here with our own culture and our own language and our own music. So we have a connection with Mexico, first with the Camino Real and then the Chihuahua Trail, and it's bringing people and ideas and goods and music. So what comes next is mariachi music and ranchera music. Mariachi is being created in Jalisco in the 1800s. It's a very rural movement. Campesinos play. The original mariachi trajes were actually worker clothes, the cloth linen shirts and pants they would wear, and the huaraches, and the huge sombreros, which were to keep the sun off their faces. And it was all guitars and violins.
Guitars and violins.
That was it.
That was it.
And then later they come up with the vihuela and the guitarrón and a harp and arpa. But the trumpet doesn't come until later, and it's not till they're brought to the big city in Guadalajara and Mexico City by Porfirio Diaz that it becomes really urbane and urban. They start wearing the trajes that are really nice, and the plata comes about from the Mexican Revolution, where the revolutionaries would invade haciendas and take the wealth, the
Gotcha.
gold and silver, and they'd pin it on their clothes. So now we have those beautiful trajes with plata going down the side of the pants, which is really cool.
Wow.
But, they're creating their own music over there. It's a blend of European music. France was in Mexico in the 1860s, Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
So they bring chotices and waltzes, and they become part of Mexico's heritage. And it's brought up the Camino Real, the Chihuahua Trail, to New Mexico.
Is Chihuahua Trail another name for the Camino Real?
Well, it's the same thing. It's just the Chihuahua Trail. Yes, it is.
Okay.
But later it's the Chihuahua Trail. But
Gotcha.
yeah, it's been around. People have been coming north and south for centuries.
For centuries.
Native Americans did it before the Spanish came, and then Spaniards did it, and Mexicans did it. This is not new.
Right.
There has been movement from Mexico to this part of the world and the other direction for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Right.
That's why we're here.
That's exactly why we're here.
Yeah. So,
Right. We were just on the Camino Real last night at the rail yards.
Oh yeah, well that's part of it.
That's part of it, yeah.
But some of the songs we get, Linda Ronstadt, who's a part Mexican, she learned she cut her teeth singing Mexican songs.
Right.
And when I was a kid growing up, all of us, my older sisters, Maxine and Doris, and my brother Lorenzo, they had a group called Los Chamacos.
Los
Yeah,
Chamacos.
my dad already had Los Reyes, but they used to sing in English and Spanish bilingual. They were ahead of their time.
I'm just going to take a stab at that at this, and I'm going to flip this around so you can take a look. See, but
cool.
you were kind enough to send us some images.
Okay, well, I
and,
see me and you. Let's see.
It may take a little while for it to show up there. I'll tell you when exactly. But you sent over a handful of images, and just taking a look at them. I was looking at them this morning, and just looking at the pictures, it's neat that you've kept record.
Oh, yeah, I try to get as many photos as I can. I'm a historian, after all, and I like to keep a record of things. That picture is Los Chamacos right there. They're so young, my older siblings. That's Doris on the left, Lorenzo in the middle, and Maxine on the right. And they had a 3-part harmony that was Mexican, New Mexican, and rock and roll.
Is that
right?
right?
They would sing Simon and Garfunkel and Rolling Stones and Beatles and Mamas and the Papas, and then they'd sing... Oh my gosh! They recorded with Al Hurricane, the Hurricanes, we should say. Tiny Maury, Baby Gaby, all those folks back in the '60s. They were trailblazing, and so yeah, But we all had to learn this song to be a part of the Martinez family. And me and Debbie, when we were little kids, when we'd have relatives over, my dad would say, "Come here, Robbie. Come here, Debbie. Sing that song I taught you."
All right, let's hear it.
Ay, que laureles tan verdes, que flores tan encendidas. Si piensas abandonarme, mejor quítame la vida. Alza los ojos a verme si no estás comprometida. We had to do that one, man.
Who doesn't love that song?
Gotta love it. And Linda Ronstadt made it really
Yes.
famous. It was already famous, but she made it international. And, so Mexican music is around. It's been around. Richie Valens made La Bamba famous in the 50s, Question Mark and the Mysterians, These were Mexicanos, Chicanos from Los Angeles. It's a brilliant history, and we're part of it here in New Mexico.
Absolutely, yes.
So we were doing this in the 70s. Mexican music is coming up. Mariachis in the 40s, 50s. In New Mexico, now they're everywhere, thanks to the mariachi festivals of Norberta Fresquez that she has. But, back in the 70s, I was a little kid, but, there was Los Reyes Albuquerque, my dad's group. There was Mariachi Gala. I think Pete Sepulveda had his group. There weren't that many, and it was very much an exclusive club, But my sister Debbie started singing in the 70s, Debbie La Chicanita. They tried to put her in Los Chamacos, but her voice was just too powerful and overwhelming. So my dad made her solo, and Lorenzo started in the 70s playing his violin. And what's interesting in the 70s is Lorenzo was playing mariachi and playing with groups like Los Reyes, and later on with the Tenampa, Mariachi Tenampa. But a guy in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian Institution named Dan Sheehy, he had heard about this guy playing old New Mexico music from the mountains, playing inditas and shortisas and waltzes and all these different polkas from the 1800s. So he made a journey out to New Mexico to find this guy, this viejito, this treasure playing these old songs.
Really?
And he went, they said, well, he plays with the mariachi down at the bar downtown. I don't remember what bar. I was too young to be going. So he went, and they said, where is he? I'm looking for Lorenzo Martinez. And he goes, well, that's that guy right over there. And my brother was about 18. And he's like, that young guy's playing that music?
Yeah.
So, my dad and Lorenzo used to go up to the northern mountains and learn songs from the viejitos. And my brother has a very orchestrated style and mariachi style. So he created a new sound with the violin, and they recorded albums. It was quite a dynamic period, the 70s, for our family and for New Mexico music in general. You had Al Hurricane, as I said, the Val de la O show.
Right.
I remember as a kid, we'd go and watch tapings. And he put out albums on my dad's record label, the More, minority-owned record enterprises.
Oh,
So
wow.
he put out albums playing New Mexico violin music. Debbie put out albums as La Chicanita. So that was a big scene back then. So the whole family was involved. I was the rogue. I was the youngest, and I said, I don't want to play music. I want to draw. So I used to
Really?
draw. I used to draw monsters from the old magazines.
Yeah.
Lon Chaney, Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi. And my dad was very supportive. He helped me put out my own monster coloring book when I was about 10 years old.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was fun. But the music bug caught me, and when I was about 13, I started taking guitar lessons at school. My family's too busy gigging to get to teach
Yeah,
me.
no doubt.
So I learned Led Zeppelin and the Animals and Beatles. So I was kind of drawn to that side of things.
Yeah.
I liked writing songs and playing English rock and pop.
Yeah.
But I came into the family fold. I was always playing in high school. I played in St. Louis with Los Reyes, playing guitar, learning, and just becoming part of the family.
We've got
act.
a picture here, and it's a long-haired Rob
Oh boy, that was a long time ago.
in blue traje.
Oh yeah, that's when I had my Antonio Banderas look.
There you go, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
There you go, ladies.
Yeah.
Eat your heart out.
Oh, the poor man's Antonio Banderas, believe me. No, that was, I had been in Los Angeles for 5 years playing English music, and I came back and my hair was like that. But my dad said, come on and play with the Reyes. So that's where that photo comes from. And I
Yeah.
had my hair, I liked it long, and my dad used to say, mijo, cut that hair. But I was still a bit of a rebel, so I kept it. But I had long hair in the mariachi before any of those guys who are doing it now. So there you go.
That's almost the trend.
Now it is.
Now
yeah, and it's
is-
cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Young with a beard and a long hair, and it's cool.
Yep.
But I was doing it back then, not on purpose. I just did it because I liked having long hair. So.
Right. Well, I like to look at your family as the trendsetters, right? And I'll tell you a story about your brother. I played with him in a band.
Wow.
And,
Yeah.
and that was the first time that I was ever turned on to violin playing through a crybaby wah-wah pedal.
Oh, my brother loves that. He loves the effects, all the wah-wah and the delay and the echo and the flanging on the violin. Yeah, he loves doing that. He still does.
Does he? Yeah. That was the first time I was turned on to that, and I was completely blown away. That's not meant for that.
No.
But he did it, and made it sound so beautiful.
Well, it's cool. Well, my brother's an incredibly natural musician, probably the most natural in the family,
Yeah.
I think. But we all got some of it. But he really has that intense creativity. So I've been lucky to learn from him and perform with him for 30 years now, off and on. So
Yeah.
it's a blast. What can I say? I've been lucky. We've gone to the Smithsonian Institution's Folklife Festival many times, playing as the Martinez family, as Los Reyes Albuquerque. as Los Martinez playing violin music. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been quite a journey. Very blessed.
Well, and you certainly have made the mark here in New Mexico. I know that the family history has you guys, or at least your father and mother, up in northern New Mexico, right?
Oh yeah.
And was your father a penitente?
My father was from Mora,
Uh-huh.
in the Mora Valley, where there's penitentes. And my mom is from Las Vegas, the big city.
The big
compared to
city,
Mora.
absolutely,
So,
yeah.
So there were no penitentes there, at least not that I ever heard about. We used to visit my dad's cousin, Eduardo Trujillo, who married into the Martinez family.
Mm-hmm.
So we went up there, his dad did. So we would go up there all the time, and they had a penitente morada on their land, and we'd be lucky to go. And Tio Ignacio Trujillo, he was my grandpa's generation. He would take us into the morada, which was very solemn and
Yes.
spiritual and kind of scary when you're a little kid.
Absolutely, yeah.
But my dad's family were not penitentes in the direct line that I know of. But my dad used to tell stories up in Holman in the Mora Valley.
Yeah.
His uncle, my padrino, Alex Lovato, would tell my dad and his primo, I'll give you a piece of gum if when the penitentes start coming, you lay down in the grass next to the acequia and just stay there when they come, because they would chant the alabados. And you hear the whipping, because they would whip themselves doing penance. It was Holy Week, Semana Santa. And it could be quite dramatic and traumatic.
Right.
So they went and laid down thinking about the gum they were going to get, and they heard the whipping, and the chants, adios, adios. And the penitentes came, and right when they got on them, my dad freaked out and jumped up and screamed as loud as he could and ran back to the house. And my tio Alex just laughed and laughed and laughed. I think he gave him the gum anyway, but they couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle it. That's about as close to being a penitente as my dad was.
As your dad was. Well, and you're absolutely right. I can imagine as a kid,
Sure.
not really understanding.
Sure.
You see this procession and everything that's involved with it. It could be kind of scary.
Well, the penitentes were men from the village, good men. They were doing penance for themselves and for the village, and they garnered a lot of respect.
Yeah.
You respected them, but kids will be kids.
Absolutely.
And they'll turn it into a game sometimes. But yeah, I loved hearing those old stories, and it's part of our musical heritage and our culture in general.
Well, and I the reason I bring it up quite a bit is my mother is also from Las Vegas, from Gainas Canyon,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we were driving back from Santa Fe a couple weeks back, and we attended Northern New Mexico College graduation.
Sure.
And there was a guy there that was at the graduation that had is it Mantraca?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what it is?
That thing that makes the
yes, that
clicking
makes
sound they do for Las Tinieblas during Holy Week, during Good Friday.
Yes.
It freaks everybody out.
It
'cause
freaks it. So he had one of these during the graduation ceremony,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I said, I gotta get me one of
Oh,
those.
yeah. That's cool, man.
So I started asking him. My mom, told me that's a mantraca, and let me explain to you
Oh, yeah.
when it's used and how it's used, and
Oh,
and took me down the whole path of introducing me to how things used to be done.
Well, everything had a point and a reason, okay? Whether it's our Santo tradition, the carvings and the retablos, the paintings of saints, they're not just random drawings or paintings. They are the scripture in imagery. So you have to follow certain customs
Absolutely.
and rules to paint them. Well, the same thing with the sounds and the pacing of a procession. The penitentes have been a very important part of our history, and they saved some of our culture and our language too,
Yes.
and our music. They were kind of looked down upon as somewhat backwards, even by the Mexican bishop from Durango in the mid-1800s. And of course, when Bishop Lamy comes to town in 1851, he is not up for that.
Right.
It's a little too medieval for him. So there's a clash between him on one side and Padre Antonio Jose Martinez of Taos on the other, for a lot of reasons. But that just goes to show you Catholic Church is not monolithic. It has a lot of flavors and perspectives and ways of expressing itself. So, but what's fascinating is we're still here. The penitentes are still here.
They're still here.
And they went underground for a while.
Yeah.
Just like the Pueblo people went underground into their kivas when the Franciscan priests were saying you can't do that. Well, they're still here. And they're practicing their religious ceremonies in their kivas, and we're still doing our thing in our moradas.
And nowadays that can be wherever you need it to be, right?
Exactly.
What a great opportunity again this is. I'm so appreciative of you spending some time with me this morning.
Of course.
I know you're limited on your time here. It's about 10:43 here.
Oh.
I had to make sure that I was mindful of that for you there. But
Thank you.
let's jump back into the music. And I know you've got just a limited amount of time here. Let's talk about your dad for a minute.
Okay.
The driving force.
Yeah.
For music here, and he was an advocate for many things.
He was a civil rights activist, a musician, a corridista. He wrote corridos about different events. You opened with Rio Arriba. That one was about Reyes Lopez Tijerina and the courthouse raid at Tierra Maria in 1967. He wrote a corrido about Daniel Fernandez from Los Lunas, a soldier who died in Vietnam fighting for his country. And it's a corrido about him, but about all New Mexicans, Hispanic New Mexicans, that we've been part of this country fighting for it and spilling our blood for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And we're not newcomers. We've been here since before there ever was a United States. So my dad was aware of this stuff, and he was a very driven person. I think my brother and I and my sisters, we all learned a lot from him. And my mom, my mom, it seemed like she was the quiet one in the background, but she was actually the rock, the solid foundation that allowed my dad to go out and do his music and his activism and whatever thing he was doing.
Sure.
So, yeah, he really was determined. He was a little kid when he saw Pedro Infante at a movie in Mora, and he said, I want to do that.
Wow.
Yeah. So Tio Flavio, who was a musician, he played guitar and saxophone and composed and sang. He was a big influence on my dad. My dad used to look up to him. So he made a guitar for my dad out of a gasoline can.
Is that right?
Unplayable, of course. But, he could sit there and pretend he was Pedro Infante. So my dad, since early age, was going to play music.
Yeah.
When my family moved to Denver in the 50s, he hooked up with my mom's uncle, Jesse Ulivari, and they started a duo, Los Trovadores, and they played in the roughest bars in Denver. They were played for tips, and that's where they cut their teeth. So when my dad came out here, he became a mariachi. Oh, I love that photo. That is my mom's side of the family.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, see, we got it on both sides. We had no choice. We were doomed from the start. That is a photo I found of my mom. On the far right is my mom's grandfather.
Uh-huh.
My great-grandfather, Dionisio Ulivari. So that was Jesse's father.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and the guy playing violin is his brother Tiburcio. And look, they're playing the New Mexico violin and guitar music that I play with my brother, and now young people like Lone Piñon, Jordan Wax, and Noah Martinez, they're doing it, and they kill it, man. They're great,
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to hear them.
Yeah.
And I said, you're keeping the tradition alive.
I love them. Hey, dudes,
Yeah.
keep going. Rock on, brothers, because this is their genealogy too.
Yeah.
Look at these guys. I don't know who the old guy next to them singing is, but the romantic in me likes to think it's their father, Marcial Ulivari. But you never know.
You never know.
He might just be some guy who walked up and started to sing a corrido or a ranchera or something.
Or maybe the guy that photobombed them, right?
Exactly.
How about this one right here?
That's my dad in the 50s in a makeshift mariachi suit. That's how determined he was.
Is that right?
He got that suit. I have no idea where he got it. My sister Doris might know. But that's in Denver, in the yard where our grandpas and my family eventually moved to in around 1952. So they were there for about 10 years. And that's my dad playing his guitar, getting it going, you know.
Wow.
And he came here, he played with other mariachis. He played with Frank Castillo, the father of Randy Castillo, the famous
Yes.
drummer who, God bless him, passed away. But he was with Lita Ford and Ozzy Osbourne. So he played with them and then formed his own group, Los Reyes Albuquerque. And the rest
No
is
doubt.
history, man.
I never knew about that twist.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah. All these people know each other. And, you know, that photo, though, that's a classic, yeah.
And then I'm gonna take us right over to this one here.
That's the classic Reyes lineup right there.
Okay.
That's my father on the right, on his knee, playing a vihuela, Roberto Martinez. The other guy playing guitar on his knee is Miguel Archiveque, who had a great voice. Archiveque is a French surname, which means archbishop. So my dad used to introduce Miguel as the Frenchman in the group, even though he was Mexican, just like everyone else. Then top left, that is Isidro Chavez. He's playing guitar. He also played accordion for the group. The tall guy in the middle is the trumpet player, Ray Flores. And then on guitarron on the right, standing up, that was George Benavides. So that's the Reyes. That's their promo photo from about 1966, 1967.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
Those were the days.
I can tell where you get your good looks from.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you know, you can't help who you are, right?
That's you're absolutely right about that. You cannot help who you are.
Exactly.
So I know we're running out of time here, and I would love to just hear some good music. You have something that? Can I just tell somebody something?
Sure.
Really quickly. Those of you guys that are out here watching, I'm not sure if you're aware of who is present with us here today, but this is a man of many talents. And once upon a time, I heard him sing Beatles music to the tune of mariachi.
A mariachi mystery tour.
The Mariachi Mystery Tour.
Oh, yeah.
Before a song, can we talk about the different iterations of music that you've had an opportunity
Sure.
to include in your life?
Of course. Well, of course, I'm a Martinez, so I've played Mexican music and new Mexican music my whole life. Played with the Los Reyes for many years, for decades. But I've also played English music. I write music. I have CDs of my original pop music in English. And I've played music with my brother Lorenzo, playing violin and guitar music, the New Mexico music of northern New Mexico. But my brother Lorenzo came up with an idea about 10 years ago. He said, "Hey, Rob, let's record some songs by the Beatles."
By the Beatles.
Yes, but with a mariachi.
Yes.
So I said, sure, why not? So he got the mariachi together and came up with arrangements, and we picked a few songs, I think like In My Life, and I can't remember the other one. We can work it out, I think. And we recorded in Tony Orduno's home studio in the valley, or in the southwest part of Albuquerque. And it was cool because we were going to just make I thought, let's have some recordings of Beatles with mariachi.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool? Well, we started doing that, and I talked to my friend Tom Fruge, who with Neil Copperman does Global Kirky every
Yes.
year. And I told him I'm doing this. Well, he's kind of like my dad. He's all over things when he hears a good idea, you know. And he said, he called me up once. He goes, "We're having a benefit at Albuquerque Little Theater. I think it was for Haiti."
Yeah.
And he goes, and I go, "Okay." Well, I had a band called the Daddios at the time, a trio that played 50s rock. And it was me and Tom Gutierrez and Kurt Olsner, guitar, drum, bass. And I said, "Well, you know, the Daddios would like to do that." And he goes, "Well, you know, that's cool, but I think I heard you mention a Beatles mariachi." I go, "Well, you know, it's just a studio thing." He goes, "Well, I think I'd like to hear that." And I go, "Well, let me call Lorenzo and see if the mariachi's up for it." So we got together and practiced one time, and we went and we played this amazing benefit, and it went over huge. So we went and said, let's go record a whole CD, and we did, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, we'd open with a mariachi song and stop, and all of a sudden I'd walk on stage in a Beatle outfit,
Yeah.
and we'd start playing like "She Loves You," and then we'd go into "I Should Have Known Better," and we'd do Magical Mystery Tour, but sing Mariachi Mystery
Right.
Tour, and it was a blast. People loved it. We loved it, and we did that for about 5 years. Yeah. So you heard that?
Yes.
Oh wow! Oh, that's
Yes.
cool. I think you hired every group I've ever been in. You know, with them, me and my brother had Los Martinez with Larry
Yes.
on guitarrón, and we played at the fair. You got us in there, and then Lennon and McCarthy was the duo I did with Tom Gutierrez.
Yes, I've got.
Yeah.
I think I've got an image here.
Yeah, yeah.
Of you guys doing
And
that
you-
there.
Yeah, you hired them too. You hired every act I've been in. Gracias, Luis. I
Hey, well,
appreciate
you know,
it.
thank you, because you know, if you you know, weren't as fluent musically as you are, we would never have the opportunity to have all these different iterations of musical insights from
Well,
you.
thank you. Well,
And
yeah.
my job is just to showcase.
Yeah, but see, musicians, we can't do anything unless we have people showcasing
Right.
us. So it's a team effort, man.
Well,
And
it is.
Of course, we need audiences. We're nothing without an audience.
Absolutely, and you know,
So-
and I think that this audience here, New Mexico Spanish music fans, I think that you know, organically this group has grown to over 7,000 people. We have not made any efforts at all whatsoever to advertise this group. It's
Yeah.
just you know, a group that exists on Facebook, and it's open to the public, and it's open to the musicians
Sure.
to promote their shows, promote their music, and for the general public to, you know, tell us about what they like, and you know, share, you know, their favorite music with us. You know,
Exactly.
and so it's a community is what it's grown into. Of over 7,000 people, and I'm just going to assume that now we start doing these shows, they might those numbers might climb a little bit.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, it's an opportunity for us to showcase our talents to the people who won't appreciate it.
Amen to that.
Right.
Amen.
And so I can see by the look in your eye that you've got something super special for us.
Well, I'm going to finish my part of the show with a song my father Roberto used to introduce. He'd say, this is the national anthem of New Mexico. And I'll sing a little bit of it. Flor de las Flores. Flor de las flores, flor de mi amor, vente conmigo y dame tu amor. Flor de las flores, flor de mi amor, vente conmigo y dame tu amor. Duerme bien de mi vida, la dueña de mis amores, y ven, flor de las flores, ven a hacerme feliz. Yo fui a tu casa y no te vi, ¿quién me lo manda? Yo me dormí. Yo fui a tu casa, tu mamá salió tu papá y me regañó. Duerme bien de mi vida, la dueña de mis amores, y ven, flor de las flores, ven a hacerme feliz. Ay, ay.
Woo!
There you go.
Man, I love that. I love that. That version, right? That's
Well, it's a short version.
It's not the version lyrically that we hear on an everyday basis, right?
No, it isn't. I always do my own version of every song I do.
Yeah.
Because I just have so much stuff in my head. It's hard to remember the lyrics. So sometimes I'll even make up lyrics on the spot just to get through a song. But that's part of the creative process.
You're absolutely right. It is. My 5-year-old daughter often laughs because I am that guy,
Yeah.
the one who does not remember the actual lyrics. So I make up my own for every song.
Sure.
And
Well, there you go. She's a future musician, and you are a songwriter in your own right.
Don't tell anybody.
No. All right. Well, thank you for having me.
Hey, listen, it's been a great time with you. I appreciate you spending time from your busy schedule with us here this morning. I want folks to be able to get in contact with you. So How can we do that best?
Well, let me give you my work phone number. That is 505 476 7998. Actually, that might change soon, but that's okay for now. But my email is rmartinez456 at comcast.net. rmartinez456 at comcast.net. So
There you go. And so,
get a hold of me.
if folks are interested in having you come out and speak
Yes.
on the history,
Yes,
of-
that's what I do. That's part of my job is
Okay.
bringing history to people, getting them interested, using presentations and original research and articles to get people interested and excited about New Mexico history because it is exciting. It's dramatic. It's fun. And so, yes, please learn your history.
absolutely. You know what? I am going to find places to now showcase that talent that you have.
Amen.
As far as the musical talent, you are available for hire.
I'm still playing music here and there. My history job is taking over my whole life.
Right.
It's which is a good thing. But no, I play music. So anybody wants to talk about it, give me a call or email me.
Absolutely. And then tomorrow, you are going to have a presentation as well.
Yes, there's a history conference. It's a joint conference between the Historical Society of New Mexico and the New Mexico Jewish Historical Society.
wow.
It's going to be over at the Jewish Cultural Center over on, I don't know the address, but it's at Wyoming, just south of Academy.
From right here, it's over there.
Yeah, por ahí.
Yep.
And it's going to be all day. I'll be giving a presentation with my guitar about the history, a very brief history of New Mexico Hispanic music.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, brother, I appreciate you. I'm going to take us here to a little screen here. We're going to just put this back up there. And you talked about the Lon Piñón.
Yes.
Yes, we're going to hear that corrido de Rio Arriba by Don Piñón.
Yes, they cover it. Fantastic.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Luis.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. And certainly looking forward to the next time that we get to get together and do what we do.
Claro que sí. Hasta pronto.
All right, brother.
Año de 67, 5 de junio fue el día. Hubo una revolución allá por Tierra María. Un grupo de nuestros valientes, muy descontentos bajaron y en oficiales del Estado su venganza ellos tomaron.
You'll go right here.
Okay. Why can I mess up my hair?
All right, we're back. We're rolling. I am very appreciative of the guest that we just recently had. I got to tell you, he is a phenomenal musician here in the Albuquerque area in the New Mexico market, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to be able to interview somebody like that has such deep-rooted history and the knowledge to talk about it, because that is his job, right? Is to talk about, the New Mexico history. Just so happens that he has to be one of the best musicians around, and he was right here with us. But right now we're going to transition. It is fiesta season in Nuevo Mexico, and if you don't know what that means, well, I'm just going to say shame on you, because fiestas it's where it's at. Let me have you go and put on those headphones there. We'll let one of you two put those on there. I've got some special guests here. I've got Diane Barajas, right? You are the Royal Court coordinator for the fiestas. And let me see if I can just zoom in on you here just a little bit. This is what happened, folks. When you self-produce the show, you get to be everything. You get to be the sound engineer. You get to be the video coordinator. You get to be the switcher operator. You even get to load up and queue up songs, and you even get to say some tonterías every now and then.
That sounds like fun.
Yes, it does. It does. So fiestas are upon us. We're talking about San Felipe de Neri church fiestas.
Yes.
Is it now the 180th year?
Yes, it is. It is. It's the 180th year. It's a big celebration. We are starting this evening. It opens up tonight at 6 o'clock.
Uh-huh.
Great entertainment, great music. Gonzalo's going to be performing on Sunday, and I know there's a lot of Gonzalo fans out there. So he'll be performing, and then Red Wine will be closing our fiesta. We also are having a big fiesta raffle. Tickets are $50 a ticket, and first prize is $5,000.
Orale, $5,000. Hey, that is certainly a good opportunity. But let's take a couple of steps back, because I have a feeling, it's just a weird feeling that some folks out there may not be fluent in fiestas. Right.
Right.
And so let's maybe educate them a little bit, because at San Felipe it's not just this weekend. There's events that lead up to the fiestas this weekend, right? And so let's talk about some of that. I love sharing the history, and this is certainly an opportunity to do that as well. So take us back to when things.
Well, it kind of started a lot when my grandparents were around, which was probably in the late 40s and 50s.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a small fiesta. It wasn't really big at all. And usually it's all based on the community doing the planning and volunteering and doing booths and food and everything. So it started, but San Felipe de Neri his history is he's a very big, he's a very jokey saint. He loved to play pranks on a lot of people, on children especially. So it's a very big time. And the process of leading up to that, our roll court, of course, I kind of started the roll court a little later in the game. So because they didn't have a coordinator, so I stepped up and decided to go ahead and we have, of course, our king and our queen of the fiesta.
You guys will get to meet them here in just a minute.
Okay, but it's a very big event, and it started back when the church opened and became a church in 1705. So it's a very big thing, and if you go into the museum there at the church there in our gift shop, you'll see pictures of the fiestas and what it looked like. You'll see pictures that the road wasn't even paved. There, it's all dirt road.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures, and I've often joked about the fact that people actually camped out,
Yes.
in the Old Town Plaza area before there were even roads, but they camped out in preparation for the fiestas.
Right.
So yes, getting back to the origins of the San Felipe de Neri, right? Very much like Reverend Andrew Pavlak,
Yes.
right? That guy's a jokester, isn't he?
He is.
Is he a prankster?
He is. I am his secretary. I am his secretary as well in the office. So I'm around him all day, every day, and he is. He's very fun-hearted, very light-hearted. He loves the youth. To me, he's just a young. He could keep up with the times, but he's a very good leader, and he's very well organized to get this fiesta started.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot that goes into it, and make no mistake about it. It is an opportunity for the parish to do a little bit of fundraising,
Right.
And that is really what this thing is all about, right? But they do it in such a way where you are able to celebrate with your entire family, both young and old. This is for everybody, and you really get to participate in probably one of the biggest, and I like to call it the biggest and baddest fiestas in all the land.
Yes, it's the biggest. It's the biggest fiesta in all of Albuquerque.
Yeah.
You're right, and I know I've seen Luis there a couple of times. We have our family does the juice booth, the agua
Yes.
frescas, and so he's there hanging out next with Daniel with the sound guy.
Yep, I've been known to run my mouth around those parts there, and we do it, gladly. But let's talk about the elements of a fiesta, right? So you started talking about one of them. This is an opportunity for Nuevo Mexicanos to try some delectable delights.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
like fiesta burgers.
Yes. Yes.
Give us the explanation of a fiesta burger.
You guys want to?
You guys want to give it a shot? Hold
Yes.
on. Okay. I'm going to allow you to introduce.
Okay.
As soon as I get my camera to them. Here we are. There they are.
Okay, so this is San Felipe de Neri's royal court. Our queen is Amalia Acabal, and our king is Uban Aragon.
Hello.
We do have a princess. Her name is Lindsay Garcia, but unfortunately, she has a job, so she had to work. So she wasn't able to make it. But she's our princess of San Felipe. So go ahead, guys, talk about the Fiesta burgers. You've all eaten them.
Okay.
I want you guys to just really, the folks that are here watching, they're either listening or they're watching along, right? They do not get the visual of the burger, so you're going to have to explain it in spoken word. The Fiesta burger.
try it.
Ready, set, go.
Come on, Uban.
I bought like 6 last year, so let's put that in perspective. Last year, well, it's just a regular burger, grilled on a flat top, standard, cheese, meat, lettuce, tomato, onion, and then green chili, which is my personal favorite part. I really do enjoy them. Like I said, I bought a lot of them. I didn't really stop eating last year. And yeah, they're really, really good.
So I've got a quick question for you. In order to become the Fiesta King, do you have to spend time flipping those burgers?
I didn't have to spend any time flipping the burgers. We do have to do a lot of community service and things. Like last year, I spent a lot of time making funnel cake batter and refilling a lot of the snow cone syrups.
Yeah.
And that's the school booth, the San Felipe de Neri school. So I spent a lot of time in their kitchen making all of that.
So you're responsible for those long lines at the funnel cake stand.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, man, that's probably one of the best parts of the fiestas is my 5-year-old daughter calls them funny cakes, right? Daddy, let's get a funny cake. What, you mean a funnel cake? No, Daddy, a funny cake. So you spent time doing that, in preparation. What else is involved with becoming the king?
Like I said, we just do a lot of community work. We do a lot of, we work together to just make sure everything runs smoothly and just trying to get out there and be representatives for our community. That's one of the jobs, being an ambassador for San Felipe de Neri.
Okay, fantastic. Now, does that include singing?
I personally sing a lot, but not everybody does.
Not everybody has that talent like you do.
Oh, talent? No.
All right, what is your favorite song to sing?
Ooh, my favorite song to sing? That's... Oh, yeah, a lot of Christmas songs. I like Christmas.
So we're coming up on July. Isn't there a Christmas in July, something like that, right?
So probably, yeah. Go ahead.
I'll let you think
let
about
you.
what your favorite song to sing is, but we also have our Fiesta Queen here, and I want to hear how she describes a Fiesta burger.
Well, let's see. I don't really like green chili, but from what I've heard, they're really good.
Okay, so let's just take that back then. At the fiestas, when you are at the fiestas, what is your favorite food to eat?
The curly fries, definitely.
Now, are those topped
Yes.
with
Cheese.
cheese and chili? Red chili? No chili.
Not for her.
So, as part of your community service, what did you get to participate in?
So I'm an altar server at San Felipe. I've been doing that for 8 years.
Mhm.
And we also just help get involved. I'm also part of the youth group, and we do a lot of community service as feeding the homeless and just helping out with the church, basically.
Very nice. I can certainly appreciate that.
So, Luis, on their thing of doing to get to this process, how they are chosen to be king and queen. Unfortunately, Uban kind of had nothing against him because he was the only one running, but he still had to participate. So they had to write an essay, which was 3 pages long, double spaced, and it was about the history of San Felipe de Neri Church. And a couple of the judges, we had judges that were from the community, including our pastor. They had to grade it and rate it. So then on Wednesday night, this past Wednesday, we call a discernment. And what that is they had to do speeches on their theory of what their role is as the ambassador of San Felipe Church. Again, same judges would judge them. And then they combined their scores together, and that's how they became Fiesta Queen and King. But of course, the King was a given, but he still had to participate. So along with that, we had a bake sale, one bake sale that we were able to have, and they, with the help of their parents, moms, especially these proud moms, they baked a lot of baked goods, and they raised about $1,300.
Is that right?
Yes, just in one weekend.
Holy smokes,
So,
$1,300?
yes, for baked goods. So they did very well. And again, this process was just started, what, guys, maybe 2 months ago? Yeah, there was not a coordinator, and we already had these young adults already ready to go, and unfortunately, they didn't have anybody to help them. So I just said, I'll just step up and go ahead and do it, and it's been quite rewarding for for all of us. I've learned a lot.
So you made magic happen.
I've made magic happen. So on Saturday, they will be officially crowned, but
Okay.
on Wednesday, they find out who is officially king and queen.
Gotcha. I see. So I'm kind of understanding how
Yes,
everything
yes,
flows
yes.
together here, how everything
And I'm
works.
sure Diane Lopez keeps you informed.
Well, so I'm going to tell you guys just a quick little short story. My wife and I, have and own and operate Elite Music Productions, and we started in the music industry because of church fiestas.
Oh, well, that's awesome. That is great. That is
And so our business is surrounded by booking entertainment for the church fiestas, right? And so I've been able to participate at that level with many parishes around the state, and I got to tell you, it's almost the same process, but there are different nuances, between different parishes and whatnot. But all in all, and not to put anybody in any place at all, but I will just, like I said, the San Felipe fiestas are the biggest and the baddest fiestas in all of the land, right? And the reason that it is because you guys spend a really good amount of time really pulling everything together and just making it bigger than what most folks could imagine, right? So you've got food booths all around the entire plaza. You've got burgers, you've got burros, aguas, snowy cones,
Funny cakes.
funny. You've got funny cakes, yes.
Indian tacos.
Indian tacos. We've got some Indian tacos.
And we will be having a senior king and queen. So Father Andy picks an elderly couple to be senior king and queen.
Is that right?
Yes. So in fact, that family that's got chosen, they have a really big family. So they're going to be running the Indian taco booth. So I heard that's supposed to, and it's their first year, so I think they're going to be able to do it. They seem to got it all together. But like I said, it wouldn't be possible without the volunteers and the workers. Our Knights of Columbus is very big organizing. They set up the booths. What people don't seem to understand is they think we just can plan weeks. We can just leave the plaza closed. No, you have to have the plaza back open by Monday morning. So Sunday night they close down everything and they have to have it all cleared by Monday morning.
It is quite the production. But when you're there, you would never realize the amount of work that goes into it because everything is flowing so seamlessly. And I just got to tell you, if you don't have plans for the weekend, make them now. And I told you the story about folks camping out. Well, that's exactly kind of how things play out.
There is.
If you want a good seat, if you want a good seat and you want to be able to see the entertainment, then you camp out. That's
Especially
just
the elderly. They get
yeah.
there since like 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon and
Yeah.
get their spot, and they don't move that spot until
Until
Fiesta's over.
until Sunday night when they gave the $150
Right.
million away, right?
I wish. So just on that note, Father wanted me to mention the money that we make for our fiesta. It just pays our property tax and our property insurance for the school, our mission church, and San Felipe.
Yeah. That's there's a lot that goes into to keeping the parish going, right?
Right.
And this is no different than any other organization here in our community. We all raise money for different things. Just know that when you are out there, you're going to have plenty of opportunity to drop some cash on those fiesta burgers, on those Indian tacos, on those funny cakes, right? But also, make sure you buy raffle tickets now. Is Pastor doing a dinner again this year?
No, unfortunately, I don't. I wish he would. I'm trying to get him to in the future. I thought maybe that would be a good gift, but we're giving out. Like I said, the first prize is $5,000, and there's 17 other prizes plus tickets on Southwest Airline tickets.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Ooh,
Irish
I'm going to buy
Southwest
raffle
prize.
tickets just for that.
Yes, we've had people come in and they've bought 20 at a time. People have come in and bought, and we had a man that came and bought like another 20 yesterday. So
Is
it's
that
been-
right?
Yes, and it's kind of the first year that they've sold them for $50 a ticket. Before it was, they would send mail out 2 books
Sure.
to each parishioner, but he changed it to $50. So I thought it's been kind of good. But we just want to. So our royal court's going to be selling them, not them, but their parents are going to be selling them.
Gotcha.
So I told him the Vino of King and Queen, it doesn't just stop here. There's other, you're going to keep on continuing.
So that brings us to the next topic, right? We've got some of the best of entertainment that is going to be on the plaza. Do you guys, as part of being the Fiesta King and the Fiesta Queen, know how to dance?
I know how to dance personally, but
We'll teach you, Bon.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to learn
I have
like
like 2 dance moves. That's about it.
okay, the funky chicken, and what's the other one?
Oh, just
The electric slide.
the electric slide.
I'm talking about
Chicken and the electric slide.
yeah, I'm talking about dancing to a traditional ranchera or a traditional cumbia. Are we there yet?
No.
Okay.
We'll start working with them.
Okay, Diane, your goal when you leave here today is to get. We're going to teach you how to do the washing machine.
Oh, yeah. I think Luis should just do he should have a class on, don't you think?
Well,
We should offer it.
I may make an appearance out there. I'm not scheduled this year to
You're not?
do anything with you guys this year, but I may
I'll schedule you.
I'll-
I've got connections.
I may make an appearance, and we might have some sort of a dance competition that involves our king and queen.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yes, and let's see what we can gather together for the award for the best dancer. On the Fiesta Court.
We'll let you. Wait, you know what, Luis? We'll let you borrow his crown for just
No,
a minute.
I,
so
you
can
know,
try it on
I,
just to
so
see what it feels like.
we're going to test your skills, Dan, on teaching him.
Okay, I will.
But so let me explain to you guys why. Right, San Felipe goes above and beyond in terms of entertainment. Right.
Right.
You always have the best, and so tonight it starts at 6 o'clock. We have at 6:05 Grupo Impresión.
Yes.
Probably some of the baddest rancheras in the world.
You're right.
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 And polkas.
Yes.
Coming out of from that band right there, and then of course you guys will be introduced formally at 7:30 p.m.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You better have a
Yes.
dance move by then.
We'll work on that. Oban's gonna be around, so this guy worked all day yesterday putting up the boots, and he
Good.
was jumping up there and helping these older guys.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then we've got Emily Dunman, right? Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Followed up with Jerry Dean and Christian Sanchez, and
Right.
great father-son duo.
Yes.
Still continuing to
They're
keep
an
that
awesome-
tradition
yes.
alive of music in the family. If you guys don't know, Jerry Dean is the son of Al Hurricane. And so it's neat to see Jerry Dean follow in those footsteps
It is.
and have his son Christian perform with him as part of the show. So that's a treat. That starts at 8 o'clock tonight.
Right, right.
And again, want to make sure that you guys camp out, on the plaza for
Yes,
that.
yes.
And the reason why is because it starts all over again on Saturday morning,
Right.
early at 11 a.m. You're going to want to make sure that you get up at 8 o'clock, hit up Golden Pride for your number 9 breakfast burrito,
The number
eat
9.
that, then come and camp out. And the reason I say go to Golden Pride for your number 9 early in the morning is because you want to get there at about 8:30 in the morning to the plaza to go ahead and camp out.
Yes,
The
yes.
booths do not open up until 11 o'clock.
Right,
And so
right.
you might get there at 8:30 and be hungry, and you might have to give up your place on the plaza
Yeah.
just to go get something to eat. That's a party foul.
I'm glad someone else appreciates the number 9.
Number 9, and then it starts at 11 o'clock with La Rondala.
Yes.
Rondella, right?
Yes, yes.
Dance group.
Yes.
And then we get some acoustic treats with Divino.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, they have a unique
do. They
unique
do.
show.
Yes.
If you've never seen Divino, I encourage you, or maybe better yet, I implore you to get out there and check out the show because they do something that's just a little bit different, right? We heard Rob talk about doing the Beatles
Yes.
by way of mariachi,
That'd
right?
be cool.
Divino does something a little different.
do. You
That's all.
guys
I'm gonna
would
leave it
like
at
them.
that. I'm
Yes,
gonna leave it at
they're-
that. You got to get out there and see them.
They're neat.
And then we got a brand new act, Monica and the crew, and she's got deep ties in the music community. She was actually a part of Red Wine Band for
Right.
quite some
That's
time, and
right.
she's got her own group now, and they're doing amazing things. The level of musicianship in
Right,
that band
is
is
awesome.
top notch, right? And so that's at 1:00, and then at 2:15 we've got Power Drive USA all the way from Grants Nuevo, Mexico. And let me tell you, these cats have been around the block a time or two. They know a thing or
Right.
two
They're
about
good. They're good.
music, and I hope you guys are taking notes on this stuff, right? This is
No,
gonna be
that's
part.
okay. They all have schedules.
This is gonna be part of the test,
and
right?
they're going to be there all day. They're not going home at all.
But no, Power Drive. I mean, they're monsters in the music industry, right? And so we get to see them at 2:15, and then one of my favorites, Baila Baila,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I believe she's gonna have all 150 of her different companies out there, right?
Right.
Meaning dance groups, right?
Yes.
But it's always if you want to see the plaza light up with color.
That's beautiful.
It is the most beautiful thing in the world when you see all of these folklorico dancers and the beautiful attire, the beautiful dresses,
Right.
all the colors that are part of that.
So your daughter doesn't want to join?
She's actually in not gymnastics. She's in jazz ballet, not tap. Okay, I'm gonna butcher it. She's a competition dancer.
Oh, okay. Well, good for her.
Yes.
Yes.
And it
that's
drives
so-
me nuts.
She's beautiful.
And it keeps me poor.
She's a girl.
She is a girl, but she did actually. She's performed at the fiestas.
Oh, wow.
She also sings,
Okay.
and
that-
so she's performed. In fact, I got a handful of calls asking me if my Hita was going to perform at the fiestas this year, and I America, I was not with it.
Right,
My job
right.
kept me involved in other things, and I wasn't able to plan out properly for fiestas this year. But maybe next year we'll talk about that, right?
Okay, that would be awesome.
And then, of course, 4:00 we got a silence for mass.
Right, we're going to be although they're not going to be playing music, but they're going to be, the vendors are still going to sell.
Vendors will be selling hot dogs.
We're not having hot dogs this
No hot
year.
dogs. Okay,
No,
they're going to be
hamburgers.
selling hamburguesas,
Yes.
right?
Indian
With
tacos.
with chili, green,
Minus the chili for our queen.
right? So, but after we have mass, then we're gonna do a procession, and that's gonna be an additional introduction of the royal court, right? The procession is coming out of mass. It goes
Right.
around the plaza.
Right.
It's a beautiful.
It is.
Not a profession. Procession.
And they do carry, men from the parish, they carry San Felipe.
Yeah.
The statue, and they process them around, and our king and queen will follow, and our royal court will follow as well.
Fantastic. So again, another opportunity to see your dance moves.
Yeah. Come on, Uban, you got to
Just
get
saying.
going.
And then once that is completed, you guys are going to light up the night with Black Pearl.
Yes.
One of the best top 40 bands
Right.
here in the.
So I would have to mention the princess this year. Her grandfather owns Black Pearl.
Is that right?
Yes, it's her grandfather.
Her grandfather,
Yes.
Ruben.
Yes. Barreras, I think.
Ruben Barrera.
Yes. Yes.
When I say that last name, it makes
Right.
me feel like a Chicano from the South Valley. Orale, Ruben Barrera. But you know what the funny thing is that he's a Chicano from the South Valley.
Oh, well, yeah, he is. And I have to give props. His wife donated the crowns for the kids.
Is that
this year.
right?
For-
Yes.
She owns a bridal shop.
She
So,
does, yes.
So
She owns a bridal shop.
She donated the crowns for our royal court.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. Well, there you go. Nice little plug for Black Pearl
Yes, yes.
as well as the bridal shop, and that is conveniently located on Montano, just west of 4th Street, where you can not only get all your bridal gowns, but gentlemen, you can also rent tuxedos and buy shoes.
There you go. Hey, there you go.
Takes one to know one, right?
Yeah. Well, yes.
All right, we got the chief hydration officer, Mr. Tim Baca.
Coolness, it's hot in here.
It is.
Tim, like we're gonna tell you guys about the water here in just a minute. But Tim, we've got Diane from San Felipe de Neri Church. She is the Royal Court Coordinator,
Yes.
and we've got our Fiesta King and our Fiesta Queen joining us as well.
Welcome, guys.
Thank
we're-
you.
You guys, they giving you water?
Yes, great water. You make good water.
So yeah, Black Pearl, and then of course Grupo Melodia is going to be rounding out the night, and again a group of young musicians, and it's always an honor to see this group because they're all youngsters,
That's what's nice.
and they have a heart for Nuevo Mexicano
Right.
Spanish
Right.
music. That is the coolest thing ever. Are you guys musically inclined? No.
I do play the piano, and I've been trying to pick up guitar recently, but piano for the past 7 years, give or take.
Yeah.
Well, unfortunately, this is not off the record. Urban is a Slayer fan.
Dude, that's where I got my start. No joke. Slayer, Metallica, Sepultura,
Yes. Yes.
Pantera,
Yeah,
Yes.
Pantera, yeah.
Oh,
right?
my son would love you. That's what my son and him like each
Oh, my dad
other.
would love you too.
I probably know your dad if he's into that kind of music, right?
It's a certain group.
But no, it's here's the thing about music, right? And what makes us appreciate music even more so is the ability to appreciate multiple genres,
Right.
right? And if it's the heavy metal, or if it's classical music, there's still something to be appreciated about
Right.
all these different genres. The really cool thing is that in New Mexico Spanish music, we infuse a lot of that music
We do.
or those styles
we
into
do.
that, right?
Right.
And so I
We know who Luis likes.
well, yeah, and
Yes.
so just so you know, a lot of musicians that are New Mexico Spanish musicians, grew up playing heavy metal music.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something, and it's just for you, and maybe your father know. I played in a heavy metal band called Persecution,
Oh, get out.
and and we covered a lot of Slayer, a lot of Sepultura, a lot of Pantera, of course Metallica. But yeah,
Did you have long hair?
I was the only guy in the band that did not have long hair.
What did you play?
Drums.
Oh, okay. Well, then you were hidden in the back.
Yeah, I was hidden in the back. Nobody could see me, great supporter of that is Lessman's Music. They support a lot of the musicians here. So I'd love to hear you play sometime. Metallica on keys.
Yes.
Oh, maybe.
And
So-
our king is very fluent in Latin as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So have you heard of a group called Rodrigo y Gabriela?
I have not.
You have not. Do you have your phone?
I do.
Okay, take that, make a note about them, Rodrigo y Gabriela. So they cover heavy metal music with flamenco guitar.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. Well, I know that, Luis, aren't you an Ozo Motley fan?
Huge Ozo Motley fan.
See, that's how much I listen.
In fact, we were doing a show yesterday. We were plugging a little Ozo Motley,
Yes.
and yeah,
I listened
good.
yesterday.
We got to get Ozo Motley
We do.
to headline the fiestas
That would
one
be
year.
awesome. Don't you know him? Can't you hook it up?
Yes.
That would be cool.
Yes. For those of you guys that don't know, my job in the music community is one is a drummer, but two, it's really as a promoter, and my job is to showcase all the wonderful talent that we have here in our state. And so, when we get to talk about fiestas and all the wonderful talent, it just makes my
Right.
heart happy, right? But to bring in other musical artists that most folks don't normally talk about, even better, right?
It would be, yeah, it's way better.
So yeah, that rounds up our Saturday lineup, and then
Right.
on Sunday, kind of the same thing. Now we start a little earlier, 10 a.m., and we have a little mass on the grass.
Right.
Now
That's church.
let's make sure that you guys understand, it's not grass for mass, it's mass on the grass. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so we're clear.
Right.
Just want to make sure because
Right.
that was called into question a couple of times over the last couple of years.
Right.
What ¿Qué dices? What are you saying? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Bring your lawn chair, be there at 10 a.m., and you will get to participate in mass
Right. Yes.
while sitting on the grass.
Yes. Yes. They do they put an altar in the plaza.
Yeah.
And then Father and the deacon performs mass. So our roll court will be there, and at that time, we also a roll court from Taos is going to be coming.
Is that right?
To our Mass on the Grass.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I like that kind of collaboration.
Yes, they're going to be coming on Sunday for Mass on the Grass.
Very nice, very
Yes.
nice. We'll get an opportunity to meet them. When are they having their fiestas?
I think now in July sometimes, but I don't know the exact date.
Okay.
But they're going to give us it, but it's now in July, and I heard theirs is really neat too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Well, the fun continues on immediately after Mass. We got Los Tapatíos de Francis Lujan.
Yes.
And I love Francis. She's got the Tapatíos and
And she dances herself.
And what are the other ones? The other ones, de Oro. Gosh.
I can't think what they. But she dances herself.
Yes,
does-
she
she
dances
does
herself,
herself.
and she has from the niños to the gramitas,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Everybody in between, and she does a phenomenal job. She's been a staple here in our community for years. And in fact, I think Diane Lopez
Yes.
was one of her students way back in the
Oh my
day.
gosh, that's a picture I would like to see. If anybody has it, post it on Facebook.
Yeah, right, exactly. If anybody has it posted, let us know there. But so we get to hear from them, and then again, we get the introduction of the Royal Court. Another opportunity to dance.
We're gonna get them. We'll get them going.
Yes,
They're
another
not gonna be
opportunity.
shy.
Right?
We should do a dollar dance.
You know, that's not a bad idea. We're talking about this is a fundraising event.
It is.
We
It's
ought
a
to,
dollar
you know.
dance.
So we did this. I think probably they're over there watching.
I
You can
know
you can
they are.
invite them to come in.
Come on.
They can come and join us in here.
Sure. Come on. These are the moms.
We I believe it was 3 years. Was it 3 years ago? Maybe even 4 years,
years
ago.
ago.
We'll call it 4 years ago. We made an attempt to have the world's longest marcha procession on the plaza during fiestas. And I'm not sure if we were able to achieve that or
I
not.
don't know. That would be cool. But I say we do a dollar dance.
But here's the thing, right? So, right, those are traditions that we have in traditional New Mexico weddings, right?
Right.
There's a chair right around the corner there.
Come on, Alex.
Bring a chair in.
Say hello really fast.
Yes.
In the back way.
You
Okay, you
okay?
sure?
So really quickly, you are mom.
Yes.
This is
Amelia's mom.
Amelia's mom, the Queen's mom,
Queen's mother.
and this is our King's mom, Angela, Urban's mom.
Okay. You have to put your left hand out. Left hand out. With your right hand, I want you to smack the top of it.
Why?
Because he doesn't know how to dance a ranchera. I'm
These are our
giving you a
moms.
hard time. So
So,
of
yeah.
course, you know, we're very appreciative of moms and of course the entire family for support. You know, especially when it comes to fiesta season.
Because if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't be possible.
Well, absolutely not. You get to drive them everywhere and help them do everything,
Yes.
right? And so without you, they would just be bumps on the log.
And they've been following my rules, what to wear and not to wear.
Yes, very good. Those are always good. Yes. So
Yes.
now, do either of you sing?
No, I do not. In the
Yes, you
shower.
did. You used to, Mom.
You dance
Yeah, in
rancheras?
high school, remember?
Oh, I was in choir in
So
high
they
school.
dance.
Where are you? What high school did you go to?
We're from Socorro.
From Socorro. You know who else is from Socorro? An amazing musical producer, Jeff Basker, right? His father is the mayor,
Yeah.
right? Does he know who Jeff Basker is?
I don't know if you know who Jeff is. His sister and I were the same grade. We grew up together.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you ever met Jeff. He moved a long time before.
Long. 1992, he moved away from Nuevo Mexico and to pursue his musical career. And you ever heard of a band called Bruno Mars?
Yes.
Yeah, this guy happens to be a producer of the Uptown Funk.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, you
that.
told me about that. I forgot about that.
Well,
And
we
so
have-
many others, Jay-Z, Beyonce. I mean, the list is, it's a huge, long list, right?
On and on.
But yeah, from Socorro. Yeah, Jeff and his, yeah. So you went to school with
With his sister.
his sister.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a small town. We all know each other.
And you didn't get pulled in and pulled up?
To
Let's hear your singing.
no.
Okay, that's why then. That's why that didn't happen. Okay. For those of you guys that don't know, we have a deep seated musical culture in New Mexico, and it's not just on the musician side. It's all the producer, songwriter, you know, arrangers. You know, it runs the gamut here. We have some very talented people, and I believe that you're going to be one of those talented people. I'm calling it right here today. Mark my words. Remember this day for the rest of your life. You are going to be something dynamic and special in the music world.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Oh, hey, okay.
not the dancing world.
See, there's his move.
That's my move.
But she's going to
Let's-
take your move.
Let's get you guys back up. So make sure we get you guys on camera there. All right, let's finish out with the schedule here. 12:30. I got my good friend Mr. Danny Boy and his beautiful
Yes.
daughter Madi.
Bye.
Excuse me. I know that they've been rehearsing for quite some time. There we go. We got you back in. Excuse me. And they've got a great set for you guys. Then we've got Brandon Seiss, and I'm not really quite familiar with Brandon
No,
just
either.
yet.
No, I've
So
heard of
I
him.
can't really speak to what he's going to do for us here. But then at 3 o'clock, none other than Gonzalo, Mr. Robert
Yes.
Gonzalez himself.
You know who he is? Everybody knows who he is?
Yes,
Yes.
Mr. New Mexico Music, and you know he's doing a lot of things in the music community as well. He's been producing shows that also showcase all of the talent that we have here. We've got a show coming up for Father's Day, Dia de los Padres, over at the Downs Casino. I believe 6 to 8 bands that particular day. He does another event called Salute to the Troops. And a brand new one that is called Fan Fest. And last year's Fan Fest had 26 bands performing over the course of 10 hours. It was nuts. But in fact, he just sent me a message,
So it's kind of like an Ozfest?
kind of like an Ozfest, but for New Mexico music. An Ozfest for New Mexico music, and he said that he's going to be bringing some talent. In fact, I'm actually going to save that for another conversation, maybe next week with him.
Oh, wow.
Yes, maybe we'll encourage him to stay a couple
how
days here in
awesome.
Albuquerque and come out and do a show. But yeah, he'll be bringing some regional entertainers here to the area as well. And so yeah, you'll get to catch him at the plaza at 3 p.m.
Right.
And then you guys remember the good old song, Cumbia song, Frijolitos Pintos?
Yes, I do.
Yes, that is the song that made this next band
Very
world
famous.
famous, right? The Red
Yes,
Wine
Red
Band,
Wine Band.
445.
Yes.
They're going to be taking the stage and
Right.
doing all kinds of wonderful things. And a great band, great lineup
Great, yes.
of musicians in that band there as well. And then at 7 o'clock, it is the raffle drawing. This is the
Right.
moment that everybody waits for. $5,000.
And I think our queen will do that drawing.
Yeah? Like with a pencil or
Oh, pick the right ticket.
a paintbrush. You're going to pick the ticket. You're going to pick the winning ticket.
I think so, yes.
Gotcha. Well, we
Yes.
got to make sure we understand, what it means
Right,
when we say drawing, right?
right, yeah, not drawing a picture.
Not drawing her picture, right? Always good times. Always
Yes,
good times.
and also our 89.1 little house, yellow house is going to be there.
The Yellow
The
House.
little yellow house that they have for the fair.
Oh,
Yes, where
okay,
they
it's
sell their
fantastic.
seeds.
Okay, so
I don't know
they
what it's called.
I call it a cuartito.
I call it un casa.
Yes, of course. KNW 89.1 will be out there with the cuartito, as I like to call it. The tiendita is what they call it.
Yes, yes.
And of course, they'll be out there selling all of your favorite New Mexico Spanish music. So if there's an artist that you wanted to find out about or pick up the latest CD, you can certainly find it there at the fiestas, right? And Michael Brasher is going to be doing some dancing as well. Is that
Right.
correct?
I think so,
Okay,
yes.
maybe we can get him in on the dollar dance as
That
well.
would be good.
Yeah, we could do
Yes,
that.
We could do that.
We can do that. So you guys, do you understand what a dollar dance is?
Dance for $1?
Pretty much. Yes, we're gonna do
Oh, these new kids
yes.
nowadays.
So your work is cut out
I
for
know
you.
it is.
Your work is cut out for you. You've got a lot of educating to do. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna. I want to have an after action report,
Okay,
right?
You got
An
it.
after action report.
yes,
I want to know how much money was raised in the dollar dance.
okay.
I want to know how many funnel cakes were sold.
Funny cakes.
Funny
You gotta
cakes,
keep that. Well,
right?
I'll keep track of that one.
Ulvan has he's got connection.
Okay, and then I also want to know how many burgers were sold without green chili.
I don't know. We have two booths. So, of course, the late Alex Lopez.
I know.
That's sad.
Yes.
Diane Lopez is running that booth, and the other group that's running it is Annabelle and Raul Grego. That's going to be the other hamburger stand.
Gotcha.
But it's the late Alex Lopez, which is kind of sad. I
Yes.
think we're dedicating this fiesta to Alex Lopez
Ah,
because he was, in that
the
hamburger
Mr.
booth.
Fiesta.
Yes, of course you visited his booth last year.
I visited his booth every year. What are you talking about? I ain't no fool. Yes, and yes, our
And the 89.1 community as well.
absolutely,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
So yes, great to know that this year's fiesta is going to be an honorarium to Alex.
Yes.
He is the epitome of the San Felipe fiestas. And if you've ever been, even if you have not been, you recognize his smiling face in
Anyway.
conjunction with the
Yes,
fiestas, and
yes.
so that is very very neat that you guys are doing that this year.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Woo, I love that. So is there anything else that we haven't discussed that you feel is important for folks to know about the
No.
fiestas? Let's talk about parking, because
Okay.
a lot of folks don't know where to
Okay.
park, right?
Right,
Where
right.
are the best areas for people to park?
Well, there's the parking where the Albuquerque Museum is, and of course on the weekends they don't charge any fee, so you can park there for free. There's also the parking behind in the hacienda. You can park there. There's the parking lot on Balama. Also, there's the parking garage that's right off of Balama by the New Mexico. What is it? The Natural History Museum. And sometimes they don't charge there as well.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of sticklers, I think, are where the Hotel Chaco is. They don't like people to park there.
Yeah, well, I guess I can see that, right?
Yeah, I can see that too.
But there is ample parking now.
Yes.
If you don't want to park, and walk, you can certainly take public transit.
Yes, the bus.
Uh, you know,
Goes right
you
by
could
there.
you could park over at Central and Unser
yes.
and ride the bus on down.
Yes.
And certainly do that.
Because the plaza is closed, and there is a carnival, so there is rides.
That's right, the
There's
carnival.
They came
¿Van a tener un Ferris wheel?
See,
I've never. My daughter has never ridden the Ferris wheel with her father.
oh, well, you know what? You might be able to fit Luis in the little tiny one.
We tried that one year.
Did they have to? Did they have to help you out?
No. They wouldn't let me in
Oh, they
in the
wouldn't
first
let you
place.
in.
Yeah,
There was a height
they looked
restriction?
at me. No, it was more of the weight restriction. Like, no caben, you don't fit in,
Yeah,
brother.
Sorry, too much tacos.
Too many tacos. Yeah, too many tacos. Yes. But yeah, absolutely. And what about the big tall slide? Is that
That's still
okay?
there. They
All
were
right,
putting that
fantastic.
up yesterday, right, guys? They were putting it up yesterday. Yes.
Well, I think I might take you guys out for a sneak peek if I can get away in my afternoon duties. We are broadcasting from the Kangen Water Store, and I got to tell you, the activity in here right now is super, super high. I've never seen this many people here in the water store filling up containers. If you want to know all about that, reach out and ask me why. It is 9.5 alkaline water. The tagline is "Change your water, change your life."
Oh, is it gonna make me thinner?
I'll tell you what it's going to do. It's going to make you better from the inside out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Better from the inside out, right? It does so many amazing things, but nothing that we want to talk about on the show today. If you want to find out about it, definitely let me know. But just so you know, this show is sponsored by Team Alkaline. This is the live stream studio, and we are broadcasting here from the beautiful Kangen Water Store in beautiful Albuquerque, Nuevo Mexico. So I say this, right? Wherever you are in life, you must stay hydrated, especially when you're going to the fiestas. So I want to make sure, do you guys have an opportunity for water at the fiestas?
Yeah, well, all the time.
To keep
yeah.
people hydrated.
Yes, it's always hot.
It's always
gonna be
hot
hot
at the
this
fiestas,
weekend.
right?
Yes.
So we want to make sure that if you are going out to the fiestas, make sure that you pack yourself plenty of water, and if you don't, you guys will be selling water
Yes.
at the booths there
Water
as
and
well.
drinks, yes.
Please stay hydrated,
Yes. Yes.
and you're going to want to, because there's going to be a lot of dancing going on at this show. I can
There
tell you
is
that.
a lot. Lots.
All right, so let's see. What's your favorite Metallica tune? Or what's your favorite Slayer tune?
Mr.
Oh,
Sandman.
South of Heaven.
Okay, so I'm going to turn you on to something. Let's see. South of Heaven. Okay.
I totally couldn't see Luis in a rock band.
Let's see if we can find it here. Okay. Well, okay, so we can find it, but it's probably not as appropriate as we like it to be. I was looking for
It's the Uban.
I like
It's a
what I
non-edited version.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? So because this is the New Mexico Spanish music show, We want to make sure that we keep things in line with the Spanish music theme.
Yes.
So I am going to introduce to you a mariachi group that goes by the name of Metal Achi. And right, and so what they do is they cover metal music, right, in the style of mariachi. So we're just going to take it away here, and we're going to listen to a little bit of Metallica, Master of Puppets here by way of Metal Achi.
Can you hear it?
Let me take you a little further.
Can you hear it? It's Check him out. Yeah, see, Luis, I think you need to be part of that group. I know they don't have a drummer. Oh, I do. I can
Yeah,
throw it out.
it is mariachi. But hey, folks, thank you guys for joining us here today. We certainly appreciate the opportunity to connect with you guys and learn all about the fiestas and everything that happens involved with the fiestas. Let me turn this down just a little bit. We gotta love Metalachi, and so if you guys are out there, you guys are New Mexico Spanish music fans. This is a show. This was the very first show that we produced in line with that group. But we are going to continue to bring you live shows in this format, or as well as live out in public. You've seen that on the Elite Music Productions page. You're going to see it here on the group as well. But please tune in and let us know what your thoughts are. If you comment down below, let me know who you guys would like me to interview next. Which New Mexico Spanish music you would like me to interview next, and we'll just kind of leave you with that. Thank you, friends. We'll see you guys at the fiestas this weekend.
So, viva la fiesta. Que viva. Thanks, Luis, very much.
Girl, you got some work to do with these
I
kiddos.
do.
Hey, America, we'll see you guys.